Let's discover why the Cirrus SR22 has been blowing its competition out of the water in recent years. The SR22 has three major selling points: the airplane parachute, the interior design, and its simple operation. To understand how dominant the SR22 line is, in 2023, it sold more new airplanes than Cessna 172, 182, and the Bonanza combined. With a big starting price of $1 million, how does the SR22 sell so well? The whole airplane parachute, or caps as Cirrus calls it, is one of the biggest reasons. To understand why, imagine you're flying along at night and the engine suddenly quits. You quickly pitch for best glide, run the engine restart checklist, and crank the starter. But nothing happens. All you hear is the wind howling outside. You glance back up at the windshield from your checklist, and it's pitch black outside. You can't tell a tree from a road, and the altimeter is winding down slowly. What do you do? If you're flying a Cirrus, you don't have to land the airplane completely blind. All you have to do is run the CAPS deployment checklist, bring the airspeed below 140 knots, and pull the parachute handle. And in a couple of minutes, you'll be on the ground safely. But what if you're not flying a Cirrus? Well, there's an old aviation saying that goes: if you're doing a forced landing at night, turn on the landing lights right before you touch down. And if you don't like what you see, turn it back off. And that really captures the helplessness of the situation. And it's completely mitigated by an airframe parachute. This scenario always pops into my head every time I fly at night, and it always makes night flying a little bit uneasy for me. And to be fair, it's very irrational. Accidents that result from mechanical or engine failures happen at a rate much less than accidents that result from pilot errors. But pilots are human, and humans are irrational. For me, the engine always sounds a little bit rougher when I'm flying the clouds or I'm flying over the ocean. And it's not only the pilots that like the SR22's parachute, the passengers also like it too. The passengers like knowing that if there's an emergency or if the pilot is incapacitated, they themselves can pull the parachute handle and be safely on the ground. Now, having a parachute that lowers the entire airplane to the ground has to be safer than not having one, right? Well, the answer is more complicated than that, and I'll save that for another video. But in the end, it accomplishes its main task, which is to sell more airplanes. The next big reason why people buy the SR22 is its modern interior design. The feeling that I got when I first sat in an SR22 is welcoming. It resembles a luxury European sedan inside, and it makes you feel relaxed and safe. Unlike the Bonanzas and Cessnas that was designed in the 1940s and 50s, the Cirrus was designed after the world discovered how to manufacture curves. Instead of a flat aluminum panel with two screens screwed on it like its competitors, the SR22's cockpit is made of curves and complex shapes, like this step where all the switches live. This allows all the touch points to be brought closer to the pilot, so there's never a need to reach for anything. And the side stick is a plus for both pilots and passengers, as it gives the cockpit a more open and airy feel. Passengers feel uncomfortable with having a big yoke in front of them because they feel comprehensive about accidentally touching the controls in flight. The result is a more comfortable flying experience for both pilots and passengers, and it makes stressful situations much easier to handle, and that makes it very appealing for owners that fly themselves. From the very beginning, Cirrus keeps its airplane constantly updated while the competition remains still. Every few years, a new generation of SR22s come out with significant improvements. For example, it was the first manufacturer to put glass avionics in a small general aviation airplane. More recently, it incorporated airline-style stick shakers that warns the pilot if the airplane is about to stall. The steady stream of improvements drives demand for people to buy the newest airplane with the latest features, and therefore increasing sales. The SR22 is a simple airplane to operate compared to other airplanes of similar performance. It has no propeller control, no retractable gear, and just one engine. This gives it the operational complexity of a Cessna 172 while providing performance that's on the same level as light twins, which are a lot more complicated, and the Bonanza, which is slightly more complicated with a retractable gear. And insurance companies really don't like retractable gears because pilots keep landing with the gears up. So, in a nutshell, it takes less flying and time to be as safe and proficient in the SR22 compared to other more complex airplanes. And that's really important for pilots that buy these airplanes because they fly as a hobby. And to be honest, not many professional pilots can afford to drop $1 million on a new piston single airplane. If you enjoyed this video or you want to see more like it, please consider subscribing and liking this video. It really helps a lot. See you guys next time.